So this recently came out of a woman doctor who didn't know in the US Senate how to answer if men can get pregnant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I
loving
do take
this.
care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think,
She didn't say that she takes care of many men.
yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure
my.
what the goal of the question
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
That's what I say
So let's
all the
just test
time.
that proposition. Can men get
Like,
pregnant?
if you want to believe gender is different by biological sex, you still have to accept that biological sex, there's two of them, and only one of them has one characteristic, and one of them has the other kind of characteristic. That's it. And if you want to believe gender is something social, do it. But you cannot just ignore the biological part.
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get pregnant?
Identities, the dumbest shit
that can get
we've
pregnant. I do
like
take care
invented
of
as
people
humans.
that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics.
Yeah.
So, can men get pregnant? You're a
totally
doctor, I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Politics should never be involved with science, maybe sometimes, but most of the time with medical care, politics should never be involved. With business, politics shouldn't be involved, and just a lot of stuff, politics should be separate out of, okay?
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool.
No, yes, no questions are about the truth, Doctor.
I
Let's
love
not make
this.
a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking
Look at her face, man. She wants to jump off a building so badly.
you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor.
Well, I believe she's smart and that she is an expert, but my golly gosh, like what? I know most of my audience is from the US. Guys, why the fuck do you keep people like this in these kinds of positions? Like, if we find a dead body that's 100 years old, we don't give a fuck and we don't even know what their gender identity was. We just know by the bones and other shit that's maybe left over if it's a more fresh body. That sounds horrible. We know if it's a man or a woman, that's it.
And you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant?
As
That's a yes or no question. It really is.
Biological men.
you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female.
Okay, then explain it. You can save your fucking stupid face. I know she's smart. She is a doctor. She has graduated in medicine in the US. She is smart, but there's no fucking way she isn't that smart to just think of the argument. Okay, based on gender, no. Based on biological sex, men cannot get pregnant. And just save yourself. That's it. Like, why do people keep these types of people in these kinds of positions? Why?
They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to
I
know,
admire
can men
this
get
guy
pregnant?
so much.
what you were talking about is biological.
You're not gonna answer my question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized.
Oh,
and
no.
push
Oh,
I'm not
no.
trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask. I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science
retarded.
and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science.
Thank you.
that
Biological
shows
women. That's what
that
we're
this
telling
abortion
us.
drug
Yes.
causes adverse health events.
Like, I hate it so much that it has come to this point where people, even parts of the Europe as well, people are so fucking scared to just decipher political correctness and biological science and the biological science, just science. People are so scared to decipher and just clearly make a statement that, hey, maybe my politics are this and hey, I want to be politically correct with this, but as somebody whose field of work is in science, like a doctor or a nutritionist or whatever, right? You just cannot deny certain stuff, and maybe in the future we will be able to make trans people be totally like, even a trans man will be able to, you know, birth kids. Maybe it'll be with some side effects in the beginning. Who knows where fucking humanity is gonna go? And more powerful people are using this shit to manipulate us and to divide us so they can sell us shit, so they can conquer us in different fucking ways. It's happening in many ways, in migration, in like businesses being just monopolies. It's happening in many different ways.
11% of cases, that's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women.
Yes, explain it.
I don't know how
He's
we can
trying
take
to
you
save her.
seriously, and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
Yeah.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't
But you're a person of science, not a person of fucking sociology or psychology or fucking philosophy, okay? This shit, like this gender type of being social category is in the psychology, in the sociology, in that type of science. Not in the natural type of science.
polarized
Like,
languages,
speak your fucking
language or
medicine.
questions serve that goal. I don't
Medical
think they serve
science.
the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such.
Yeah.
That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by
No,
the way,
this can go
the
too
United
deep.
States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women.
If these fucking dumbass people, men and women, just lived in a country like mine or even worse, where the women's safety is way less prevalent and it's way more dangerous. It's way more dangerous for men and women, but it's especially more dangerous for kids and fucking women, okay? It's horrible. They wouldn't be saying all this shit, okay? And I'm not saying that there's not, you know, the dangerous places, and it's obviously unsafe for women in a lot of different areas in the US as well, but it's like, this shit is not helping it. This is going the opposite direction of actually helping biological. And for the left people watching this, I respect you guys. For the biological sex, not for the gender, for the biological sex, for those kinds of women.
And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women.
Yeah.
And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here.
God damn,
Thank
I
you for
look up to this
protecting
guy
women
so
and
much.
children.
I
Thank you.
wish I looked this good and this attractive as this guy when I'm his age, if I don't die by then, because, you know, I'm a dumbass. But it's like, if left-leaning people like this, like, I can agree with a lot of stuff left-leaning people say, and I can agree with a lot of stuff right-leaning people say. And for all my left-leaning people watching this, you're not helping your case when you're being ignorant when it comes to different stuff like this. Like, you guys need to find a fucking middle ground to be able to work together, okay? If you're just bashing fucking each other, there's a third party above you who is just loving this, using you, capitalizing off of this. If you want to change something, find a middle ground. If you think you'll find, it'll be 100% like the right-leaning people want it to be, or it's gonna be 100% like the left-leaning people want it to be, and you just clash, well then go to fucking war. Oh, you won't. Obviously, I don't want anybody to go to war, but you gotta find a middle ground, okay? And shit like this, just ignoring science and nature and biology, biology. And it just, you can think whatever the fuck you want to think about gender, but ignoring this shit, I don't think you should be in this kind of a position, okay? Being in the Senate and speaking this, no, sorry. Tell me what you guys think about this, and have a nice day.